Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
Life is for living, and at First International Bank and Trust, we're all about living, helping your dreams come true. Because we're not just in the banking business. We're in the first home business, the community sponsorship business, the how do I make this happen business, making your banking life easy so you can focus on what matters most. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
A family farm is, well, different. The cab of a tractor is the CEO's office. Board meetings are held on the bed of Grandpa's pickup. And a conference call is a holler across the yard to hurry your chores, kids. There's homework to be done. A family farm is about family pride as much as profit. Farmers Union Insurance believes this way of life is worth protecting because this isn't just where we work, it's also our family's home. Farmers Union Insurance, simply different.
Coming to you live once again from the Bonfire Studios North, it's another episode of Tauros Weekly. I'm your host, Peter Theodos. Joining me, as always, is Ken Oda. And Ken, I think we can officially call this Season 2 of Tauros Weekly.
I think we can. We dressed up for the occasion.
Yeah, I know. Gotta love... We totally planned this out, too. Totally. We're going to claim that we did, at least.
We've got Season 2 starting because we've got players in town. We're getting ready for an actual hockey season.
Unbelievable. Didn't think it was going to happen. Let's bring in our first player of the evening. Fans, welcome back to the show and welcome back to Minot. Forward Jack Westlund. Westy, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good to be back.
I think we did. We had you on one other time, if I remember correct.
me and Nesser came on together last year.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Speaking of Nesser, big news today. He signed up. He rounds out. He's the last guy to register for the alumni game on September 26th. So Ness will be back in town here in a few weeks.
Yeah, so we'll actually start with that question. How interesting is it going to be to kind of watch some of these former Tauros play in a game before you guys on September 26th?
I think it'll be cool to see. You know, I mean, a lot of those guys I don't know, I'm guessing, just because they're older and whatnot. But I think it'll be fun to just see the culture and all the guys come back and play a game and have fun.
I don't know about you, but I'm actually more interested to see which ones actually remember how to skate.
I know most of the guys are still playing. Miro Muha, he committed to come back. He's playing D1 at Lake State. We've got, obviously, Nesser just finished up with us. So a lot of recent guys. Austin Dahlemer's playing college hockey. Jake Rosenbaum's a national champion. We talked to him over the summer with Minnesota Duluth. So a lot of guys still skating. But we've talked to a couple. Matt Audette was at the golf tournament. He's coming back. He said he hasn't skated in 2 years. So I think it'll be an interesting range as far as the alumni go. Who's still got it and who's maybe just trying to remember how to get going again.
Speaking of got it, Westy, it's your second year. You're going to be a returning veteran this year. After last year and going through, before obviously the whole pre-COVID thing, and getting some lessons and playing in some games, what's going to be your approach this year, and how's it going to be different this year than it was last year?
I just think this year I'll try to take more of a leadership role, being a veteran and whatnot. I had a lot of good leaders last year with like OC and Ness and all those guys. So just try and do what they did and help the new guys out as much as I can and just lead them on and off the ice.
Yeah. What were you looking forward to most, having had a year under your belt now, coming back to Minot? I know obviously, we talked about it before the show. Summer was longer than any of us wanted with the early start to the off season, with last season getting canceled and then this season getting pushed back a few weeks here. Really, as it started to get close to time to report, what were you looking forward to most back in Minot?
I mean, for sure seeing the boys again. It was too long not seeing everyone and whatnot, and then to play a game. This is probably the longest I've ever gone without playing like a real live hockey game.
Do you think there's going to be any like nerves or a little rust in that first game that you have to knock off?
I mean, if it was going to be played right now, I'd say yeah, but we got training camp, and I know we'll get all that tweaked, and we'll be ready to go once the season starts. So, yeah.
Preseason will be a little different this year too. Usually we bring some teams down from Canada, and get some of those first tests out of the way against unfamiliar faces. But this year it's gonna be a little different. A couple with Aberdeen and a couple with Bismarck are our two biggest rivals. Do you think that'll change the way preseason works a little bit, having it be those two teams?
I think it'll just be a little more intense. Just there's always that big rivalry, so I think it'll make it even better. Just you want to win that much more, so it'll bring out the best in all of us. So
I don't really want to touch on all the negative stuff that's been going on, but there are a couple things I want to ask you. Obviously, being in lockdown through March and April, you had to get creative with some things. What was some creative ways and some interesting ways that you had to train and keep in shape and get ready for this season?
I mean, I wasn't super creative. I just kind of I'd go for runs in the mornings and afternoons, whatever I could. I'd shoot pucks, stick handle, try and do like body weight workouts if I could. But I don't know. I didn't have any wild training stories. I wasn't like lifting trees or anything like that. But
Pick up any new hobbies or anything? Use any of the downtime to do anything fun?
not really any new hobbies. I mean, I played a lot of cards with my parents and my family early. Just kind of hung out, watched movies. I would like chip around my yard with like my golf clubs just because I wanted to get back to golf. So that's pretty much it.
That had to have been the most time that you've spent with your family. What was that like? And like, was it kind of reminiscing to any of the days when you were younger and you were around them more?
Yeah, I mean, it can be like that, but we all have our own rooms, so if we had a little too much of each other, we could go there. But no, it was good. It was good to hang out because I'd been gone for so long and not seen them for a long period of time, so it was good to just have a lot of time to hang out with them.
You know, this season's coming together. A lot of guys up in the USHL, but a good number of guys coming back from last year's team as well. Have you thought about what this group can do this year yet, or is it just way too early to tell?
I mean, yeah, we have a lot of strong guys from last year coming back. I know a lot of the recruits we have are good. I don't know all of them, but I think the sky's the limit with this team. We can do whatever we put our mind to.
You know, I think you look at maybe last year we were one of the younger groups, had a lot of guys eligible to come back, and you look at maybe Aberdeen and Bismarck were a couple of the better teams in the division, but they were also older. Do you look at kind of the way that tends to work in junior, where maybe this is our year because we've got the veteran group this year?
I mean, yeah, I don't necessarily look at it like that. I just think it doesn't matter how old you are, you have to want it and work hard. So as long as every guy in the locker room can say they put it all out there, I think we have a chance at anything.
Being a hockey fan, we were actually talking about this before we came on the show. What's been your opinion of the Stanley Cup playoffs and how that format has been set up?
I think it's weird, the crowd noises they got in there. You just see like no people, but you hear the crowd noise, so that's weird. But I think the hockey's been unreal. It's really fun to watch right now. It's high paced and it's really good.
We won't have to deal with the lack of fans. We're allowed to put fans in our building with pretty much no restrictions right now. But the three teams in Minnesota, I think, are all under restrictions right now. Bismarck might have some restrictions. I think Aberdeen's like us. They're allowed to fill the place if they want. But will it be different going on some of these road trips where maybe we go to Austin and they only can have 250 or 500 people? Do you think that might dull the home ice advantage for some of these teams when we go on the road?
Yeah, I think it could for sure. I mean, I think the biggest home ice advantage is just being able to sleep in your bed sometimes, which some of the hotels are tough. Just you're sharing a bed with guys once in a while. It's tough. But no, I mean, for us, I love having fans in the building. It definitely helps me. But I think it'll help us going on the road, just not having to worry about the crowd and the atmosphere, just playing hockey.
Was there any specific game last year where you just remember the fans just being louder and just making the place rock even louder than usual?
Yeah, I mean, I think at home for sure it happened a lot. And then I remember there was a game in Aberdeen, they had it packed, and I think we went into overtime that night, and it was really loud. And then there was another Bismarck game that they had a lot of fans too. So there was a couple games last year where it got really, I couldn't hear Marty talking behind me. So
Westy, well, I appreciate you coming on. Welcome back to Minot. It's always great. I know I was, and I know Ken was too. We were getting kind of lonely and kind of bored without no hockey going on. So it's great to see you. It's great to have you back in town, and we'll probably have you back on the show sometime later on this year.
Yeah, awesome. Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
While we switch Westy out for our next guest, Peter, we've got Nana, Helen Zahn checking in, as well as...
Oh, yeah, you wanted to say a quick thing about...
Oh, yeah, shout out to Nana. How's it going? Miss you.
And then, your West Virginia fan club, happy belated birthday. Saturday was your birthday?
Yeah, thank you for that. Also, hi, Mom and Dad. Sometimes I forget to get that in, unfortunately. I'm not proud of that. But, yeah, always got to say hi to Mom and Dad.
You got to spend your birthday in your office because I forgot to look and see when your birthday was. Didn't realize it was your birthday. Had you come in on Saturday.
Hey, you know what?
Sorry about that.
Sometimes you just got to get the work done and get the work in. And if that means coming in and get ready for hockey, I'm ready for it.
Hey,
so.
Had everything gone as planned, we would have been playing a preseason game
Exactly,
anyways,
yeah. So I wasn't too worried about it. Fans, let's welcome in our next guest and also our tallest guest that we had last year in Season 1 of Tauros Weekly, and probably also now Season 2. Goalie AJ Ruskowski. AJ, welcome back to Minot and welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good to be back.
Yeah, so
I think you were the first player to report back to Minot. How much were you itching to get back to the Magic City?
Yeah, there's nothing quite like waking up in the morning knowing you're in the Magic City. So I couldn't wait to get back, and I'm looking forward to getting the season kicking here.
You didn't actually get to go through the preseason camp with the Tauros. You were brought in at a later date.
Yep.
What are some of your expectations and some things that you're looking forward to for this camp?
I think we do have a lot of guys coming back, but in saying that, I think it's kind of a clean slate, and we have a lot of good recruits coming in, and I'm excited just to meet all the guys and get going.
Now, obviously, we talked to Westy a little bit about it, but I imagine you're a Michigan native. Things were a little bit stricter there as far as the COVID response. How were you able to train? How much did that affect you? Were you pretty much just stuck in your house all summer, or were you able to get out and do some work as well?
Yeah, so I was probably off the ice for probably 2 months after the season shut down, and then we eventually were allowed to get back on the ice and start skating again. But I don't know, I was pretty fortunate. I had a pretty nice setup in my basement for weights and whatnot, so didn't get too out of shape, I hope.
Talking about doing other things, you learned you got challenged by your former teammate, Kyler Clevin, during the Tauros Stay-at-Home Challenge, and you recorded. Kyler's challenge was to record 3 shots as quick as you can. You obviously had the quickest time, and if you hadn't seen it, folks, he technically did. He hit all 3 pucks at one time.
I haven't gotten my winnings from that yet. I don't know if it's like season tickets or a Tauros gift bag.
I don't think players were actually eligible to win.
Okay.
But it was
It was very entertaining.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that idea, and what was the whole response from Kyler about it?
Well, I kind of knew I had a better shot than Clevin last year when I went to Might Skates. We'd always, mess around and whatnot, and I thought I could hang with the big guns, so I decided to give it a go, and got the best time. So.
And I know fans absolutely loved it, and I loved it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if you haven't seen it, fans, it's a way back.
Way back.
But it's still up on our
Facebook
social
videos,
media.
Yeah. But to that point, though, how much when you guys were all locked down and we were all locked down, how much did you and your teammates stay in touch, and how much did that help you maybe not go crazy when everyone's locked in their house at the beginning of the summer not doing anything?
Yeah, it was kind of weird because we all we found out the season was shut down on like a Monday or something. We were all out of town pretty much by that end of the week, so it all happened really quick, but it was good. Our Snapchat group chat remained pretty active all throughout the summer, so it was good to see what everyone was doing in their summer training, and
Now, turning our attention back to this year, you backed up Benny last year. He carried the majority of the starts, but as far as the way he prepares and stuff, I think probably a good role model, a lot of lessons you could learn from last season and working with Waz. What did you learn last year that you think might help carry you forward into a larger role this year?
Yeah, I think, like you said, I've worked with Waz last year, and I think you kind of know what he expects out of you and what you need to put in week and week out to give the team the best chance to win. So I think, like
I was talking with Westy, what has been your opinion of the Stanley Cup playoffs. I know you two were kind of talking about it, and
Yeah.
you actually got here before Ken and I did, and you were downstairs watching it with Patty.
Yeah,
But what's your opinion been, and how do you think that setup has gone?
Yeah, I think it's been good. It's obviously nice to have live sporting events back and kind of have some normalcy for that aspect. But I think they've done a good job within their bubble and put on a good show. So yeah.
You're a 20-year-old going into your last year, a junior here. I imagine the main goal is a college commit, but any other goals besides getting that commitment this year? Individual and team.
Yeah, well, for the team aspect, I think if you don't start out the season with that eye on the championship, then I don't think you're in the right profession. But yeah, personally, I just think just give the team a chance to win every night. Like, you kind of have your own personal numbers that you wanna hit, but if you just give the team a chance to win every night and they do their job and you do your job, should have a good year.
AJ, appreciate you coming back on the show, bud.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure seeing you, and sure we'll talk soon around the rink.
Awesome. Yeah, have a good one.
Fans, that's goalie AJ Ruskowski. Had some more people chiming in on Facebook.
No, I'm not going to sing happy birthday.
Yeah, Miranda Schuler asking Ken to sing happy birthday. As much as I would love to hear that, I don't think everyone
No one would love to hear
no
that.
one would want to hear that.
Ask Victoria. She routinely asks me to stop singing around the house.
Brent Ness asking if OC is going to be playing in the alumni game, and unfortunately he will not be playing.
His cousin's getting married that evening, so
valuable excuse.
congrats to OC's cousin, but unfortunately that means we don't get to see OC back at the Mesa quite yet.
That would have been game 98, you said, or 99?
He had 98 played, so that would have been game 99 if you count that as a game played in a Toro jersey. But no, OC won't be back. We'll be announcing the full roster later this week, but I think I've hinted at a lot of the names over the last few weeks. Jane Martin, Mason Morelli, a couple of local guys. So Miro, the only 30-goal scorer in franchise history, coming back. He's, I think, a sophomore at Lake State, maybe a junior at Lake State. But either way, a D1 hockey player coming back. So a lot of great names. Looking forward to seeing some guys come back. And 14 players. We couldn't get a goalie alum. None were available to come back. So I think we may have a current Toro goalie in net for that. We'll see. Some last things before we go. Dash.
Yeah, so we have our final week of Dash up on our website. You can go over to the Tauros main page and you'll see a Tauros Signature Summer button. Just click that and it'll take you, and we have everything from
Tons of goodies, gloves, helmets, jerseys, all signed, pucks as well.
Pucks.
So every item on there is signed, I believe. Also, the 10-year jersey. Check out our online store, the new tab at the top of the website. Online store now run through Square, where you can order jerseys, hats, all kinds of team apparel. That's all online. We'll be adding this year's collection of merchandise in the near future as well.
Wally Mock says Larry McFall should jump on in the ice and
I
play
don't know
goalie.
I don't know that Larry's going to be ready for that, but we'll certainly ask him.
Helen Zahn checking in, wishing AJ good luck on the year.
And what else do we have? Oh, the Fan Festival as we return
Fan
to play.
Fest.
September 26th. We've talked about the alumni game on September 26th. That's just part of it. There's a 5K in the morning that is benefiting the Tabi Art Museum downtown. Then we'll have a tailgate before the alumni game. The alumni game at 4:30. The Tauros and the Aberdeen Wings in a preseason tilt will start 30 minutes after the alumni game. So
Hockey's back in Minot.
Hockey's back in Minot. We'll be announcing the regular season schedule. I believe they're just dotting the I's and crossing the T's, so that should be released hopefully on the 12th, so just 3 days from now. So a lot going on. We're getting ready to drop a puck and play some hockey here in the very near future.
I'm
starting
so
September
excited.
26th. Tickets for that alumni game doubleheader with the preseason game against Aberdeen, just $12 get you into both. The tickets go in part to Prairie Grit, as that's the checking for charity alumni game beforehand, and the beer sales during the alumni game all go to Prairie Grit. So
it was a great event last year.
It was a great event
the team was
year.
out of town, and but I was stayed in town and worked it, and it was honestly super cool. Super excited to see some of these Tauros return and the first
look
first
at the
look.
new scoreboard
And the
scoreboard.
tenure jerseys.
Yeah. First official look at the tenure jerseys and the brand new Mesa Arena HD video scoreboard will be hung up and ready to go. The first event underneath it will be that alumni game and the preseason game, that doubleheader. I can't wait for all the new stuff we're going to get to do with that. So, get your tickets online, gotauros.com, and we'll hopefully see you there.
Yeah, we'll have some content from the practices coming up here. The first official practice is Sunday.
Yes.
So make sure you keep an eye out on our social media. We'll have just some content, some interviews, some live action from those practices. Because I know everyone's itching for some hockey to return and just to be around the team. Well, we're around the team, but not around the team. But a lot of things that are going to be different this year, but a lot of some cool things that we're going to be able to do from a different perspective that I'm excited to try and see how it goes.
Certainly.
So
I think that'll do it.
Yeah, that's all I got.
For Sean?
Yeah, for Sean Bachhoven, once again doing a great job behind the scenes. For Ken Oda, I'm Peter Theodos, and that's all we got here on the first episode of Season 2 of Tauros Weekly.